Corkickle Station, and there's been a station on this site since December 1855, and Corkickle is a suburb of Whitehaven. And I've just come through the famous Whitehaven tunnel, which is just over 3/4 of a mile long. It's 3,999 feet and the longest tunnel by far on the Cumbrian Coast Line. Corkickle Station is one of 25 stations along the Cumbrian Coast Line, which runs between Carlisle and Barrow-in-Furness. It's around 40 miles to the southwest of Carlisle. It's owned by Network Rail and is managed on a day-to-day basis by Northern Trains. It has a single platform and a single track. The main building, though, is now in private residential use. There's a couple of waiting shelters, a public telephone, ticket vending machine, and also a digital information board situated near the main entrance. Passenger numbers, well, they had been increasing. In 2019-2020, they were nearly 69,000 passengers a year. But in line with all other railway stations, those numbers dropped during the pandemic, the first of the pandemic years, 2020-21, to just over 18,000. It's a category F2 station, so it has no ticket office, and it has less than 100,000 passengers a year. Well, Corkickle Station was originally called Whitehaven Corkickle between 1855, when the station was built, until 1957, after which the station was simply called Corkickle. And one of the famous things that Corkickle Station is known for was the Corkickle Brake, which was constructed in 1881 by the Earl of Lonsdale's Whitehaven Colliery Company to handle the output of coal from the Croft Pit, and it worked by a cable system which hauled up the coal trucks from the main line to the pit itself. The system remained in operation for a number of years, and although it became redundant, was reinstated again in the mid-1950s and was closed completely on the 31st of October 1986. The 17th century maritime port of Whitehaven was once the third largest in the UK, with trade links all over the world. Today, the town's refurbished harbour, with fabulous marina, visitor centre, museums and elegant Georgian buildings, draws visitors from far and wide. Hundreds of impressive boats and yachts dock at Whitehaven Harbour, and walks around the old harbour are popular, as are the cafes that look out onto the busy harbour. Spectacular maritime events and activities take place at the harbour, including the occasional visit of tall sailing ships. Art and craft exhibitions, theatre and music events are also widely held in Whitehaven, offering a broad spectrum of creative and enjoyable entertainment for all. The Beacon is a museum and gallery located at the harbour, but also offers a contemporary, interactive experience for all the family. In the centre of Whitehaven is the popular Rum Story, set in original 1785 shop with its courtyards, cellars and bonded warehouses. You can learn about the story of Whitehaven's connections to America during the rum trade and the deeds of the infamous Blackbeard. Since coal was first discovered in West Cumbria, it has been a major commodity, generating significant wealth for Whitehaven and encouraging manufacturing innovation. Whitehaven also has a rich railway history. It was once a terminus of the Furness Railway and still has two railway stations today. That's Whitehaven and Corkickle, both on the Cumbrian Coast Line, which runs from Carlisle to Barrow in Furness. Whitehaven Harbour itself was once riddled with railway lines when steam engines would shunt trucks full of coal, iron, gypsum and many other cargoes onto the quays for ships to take elsewhere in the world. The railway came to Whitehaven in 1847. Steam-powered engines finally reached the town following an agreement between the Earl of Lonsdale and George Stephenson, and it was Stephenson who was the engineer placed in charge of the construction of the new line. The railway became known as the Whitehaven Junction Railway. Even before the line was built, the nearby Loco Engineering Works began to produce locomotives. Over the life of the works, some 260 were produced, mainly for industrial lines. Well, here we are at Whitehaven Station. I've walked across town from Corkickle to Whitehaven, and I'm at the other end of the Whitehaven Tunnel, 1,322 yards long, 3,999 feet long, and it's just about 3/4 of a mile long. Whitehaven Station is on the Cumbrian Coast Line. It's 39 miles southwest of Carlisle and it serves the town of Whitehaven. It is owned by Network Rail and managed on a day-to-day basis by Northern Trains. The first station at Whitehaven was opened on the 19th of March 1847 by the Whitehaven Junction Railway as the terminus of their line from Maryport. That station was to the south of the present station with the main entrance on Bransty Row. The station was resited to its present location and renamed Whitehaven Bransty on the 20th of December 1874, and it was renamed Whitehaven on the 6th of May 1968. There is a ticket office on this station, open 6 days a week. It's closed in the evenings though and on Sundays, and there's also a ticket machine available. Digital display screens and a PA system and information posters provide train running information, and there's also step-free access available through the main building to both platforms. It is a Category E station, which is a small staffed station. Passenger numbers have been increasing. Back in 2019-20, numbers increased to as much as 270,000 passengers per year, but as is the case with all of the railway stations, numbers dropped with the COVID pandemic in 2020-21 to just over 67,000. The station formerly had 4 operational platforms, but today only 2 remain in use. The former platforms 3 and 4 lost their tracks when the layout was simplified and the buildings replaced. The double line from Parton becomes single opposite the station signal box, Whitehaven Bransty, and then splits into 2, one of which runs into platform 1, a bay platform used by most terminating services from Carlisle, and the other runs into platform 2, which is the through line to Sellafield, Millom and Barrow. Trains heading south must collect a token for the single line section to St Bees from a machine on the platform with the cooperation of the signaller before they can proceed. Conversely, trains from Barrow must surrender the token upon arrival, the driver returning it to the machine before departing for Workington. Only then can the signaller allow another train to enter the single line section. Well, I've really enjoyed this visit today to Corkickle and Whitehaven stations. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. This is my train back to Carlisle. So until the next time, from me, Stephen Bennett, take care. Bye-bye.